everybody, it is Sunday and I am still in Edinburgh, and right behind me is Edinburgh Castle. Absolutely beautiful up there. So I've already spent a day in Edinburgh trying to figure out what I wanted to cover for Travel Bear, and here are some of my highlights. So first of all, I am sort of on Princess Street, and this is definitely the shopping mecca of Edinburgh. So if you're looking for your high-end shopping, this is where you go. Edinburgh is definitely a tourist destination. You know, it's a stunning place to see, and you know, you'll definitely see some very beautiful sights in this video. Transit is easy here in Edinburgh, and you can see that there's a tram line. So they have one tram line, lots of buses, Uber definitely, and taxis as well. Between Uber and the taxis, I've already mentioned that the taxis are very expensive in the city. So to go from, you know, about 6 kilometers, it's about 15 quid. So I do find taxis to be very expensive in this country. So definitely use public transit. It's £1.70. Yeah, it's the way to go in this city. I'm in the Princess Street Gardens, and definitely a place worth visiting if you happen to like gardens. I have to admit, I don't have much of a green thumb, nor the patience for it, but I certainly do appreciate a good garden when I see one. So the memorial here is in honor of the Polish men and women that fought in World War II for the freedom that we have today. So a very cool monument. It was actually placed in 2015, so relatively new and fantastic. Wojtek the bear. So essentially he was a brown Siberian bear, and he was enlisted in the I believe it was the Polish army, and essentially became a private, was promoted to corporal, and from there he, after serving his time, he was placed in the Edinburgh Zoo and lived his life out there. So, of course, markets are around the city as well. So you've got a little bit of a market starting up there, and really on Princess Street, just a lot of sort of shopping in behind on the side streets, etc. And of course, a fair bit of shopping north as you get up to Rose Street, etc. It's still only you know, 10:14 in the morning, so none of the shops here are open yet. So, but quite a very pretty view here. Very pretty area of the city. Quite old, not as old as the Royal Mile, but still quite beautiful. Of course, down George Street, much the same. So there you go. That's where you can go shopping. Oh, yay. So Edinburgh and Glasgow are full of statues. So this one commemorates a visit, I should say, of King George IV here in Edinburgh. And then there are definitely others that are representative of Scottish history and time periods. For example, what I talked about with Wojtek the bear. So I was told to come up to Calton Hill because of the fantastic views of the city, and you know, you definitely get them. So you can see the Edinburgh Museum behind me, Waverley Station, you can see the Royal Mile and the castle as well, far off in the distance. And then from the other side, you can actually see the new Scottish Parliament building, and right behind me is the St. Andrew's building, which really was a government office, but very significant during World War II. In fact, it was opened less than 24 hours after World War II broke out. So right behind me, definitely the Scottish Parliament. And then off in the distance is Holyrood Abbey. So really Holyrood Castle, which is one of Her Majesty's properties. So just a stunning view from up here at Calton Hill. The Scottish Parliament buildings, they are open 6 days a week for people to tour for free. And right behind us is the Palace of Holyrood House and Holyrood Abbey. So it's just beyond these buildings here. The Palace at Holyrood House. This is the Queen's official residence here in Scotland. So quite a tourist attraction. You can actually go ahead and tour the castle. There's a cafe here and everything else that you'd expect from a tourist destination. Just outside is the Scottish Parliament, which is over this way. And something that can't go unmentioned is not just the Scottish Parliament, but Arthur's Seat, which is right behind us. So it is a stunning, perfect for hiking in and for some amazing views of Edinburgh that you can get up from up there. So I'm not actually going up there because I'm not really dressed for it appropriately. I don't have the right footwear, but definitely something that I'd love to do in the future. And the Royal Mile, which has a lot of shopping, it's very touristy, and it's also where a lot of the museums in the area are. So down, certainly this way, there's the Scottish National Library, I believe the Scottish National Museum, and certainly up this way is Edinburgh Castle. And it's also where the Edinburgh Tattoo is held every year. Behind me is Edinburgh Castle, which is where the Tattoo is held every year, and of course the castle is open to tour if you can get tickets. So, and it's just off the Royal Mile. So the Royal Mile is your typical tourist shopping, so buyer beware. So I neglected to mention that when over at the Princes Street Gardens, there's the Scottish National Gallery, the Museum on the Mound, and also the Scotch Monuments. So all certainly visible from this view here, which is just next to Waverley train station.